Hey study buddies, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at a different method to solving trinomials, or in other words, factoring trinomials. So this method is what I like to call the guess and check method. Now understand, before we get going with this method, you have to try out many examples on your own before you get the hang of the guess and check method. All right, and the methods we were using before are great, but I would say once you go into grade 12, maybe even grade 11, this is a great tool to use because it's just going to make life so much easier. You don't have to remember these rules. It's more so you doing this naturally with using your logic. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to work you through the thought process behind the guess and check method. So let's go ahead and check it out. So here we have one example. Now, typically you'd realize this is, a regular trinomial. And what we did before was we were like, what two numbers multiply to give you negative 30? What two numbers add to give you 7? And this is actually the exact question that we looked at in last video. But today we want to look at a different method. So I'm going to walk you through this method. So the guess and check method. What you want to understand first is to get our first term, we multiply this first term in the bracket by this first term in the bracket. So let's go ahead and put 2x times x, because we know that's the only possibility for us to get 2x squared. Now we need to see what two numbers can be placed here as the second term and the second term here. That will give us negative 15, but when expanded out, they should also give us positive 7. So it should essentially add up to positive 7. Well, let's take maybe negative 5 and 3 or something like that, right? Because we know 5 times 3 gives you 15, and there's a negative in front. So that shows us that one of these numbers has to be negative. So maybe let's use 5, right? So 5 here, we'll add it up. Why? Because we want to have a bigger number as the positive 7. So you can see here, you're going to be multiplying 2x by 5, and you get 10x. Our other number is negative 3 that we have, so let's subtract 3. You know, when you expand it out, you get negative 3 times x, so you essentially have 10x, right? Because 2 times 5, you get 10x, minus 3 times x, which is minus 3x, and that gives you 7x. So you know that you're given the right answer right now. So let's expand it out to verify, to show you what I mean. So 2x squared, of course, that one for sure we know is right. And we're going to go ahead and do 2x times 5, so plus 10x. Negative 3 times x minus 3x. Negative 3 times 5 is minus 15. And so you'll obviously get that answer, so you know that you're doing this right. Okay, so essentially what you're doing, just to kind of recap how you're getting that middle term here, what you're doing is you're trying to make sure that this added with this is gonna give you this middle term right here. Okay, let's look at another example in case you're a little bit stuck. So we have this example over here. So again, the first factor in each bracket is very easy to determine because you have 3k squared here. So you know 3k times k is the only thing that'll give you 3k squared. Now you need to see, what multiplies to give me that last term, 18. So maybe some multiples are like 9 and 2. So we'll go ahead and use 9 and 2. And you know you have to get this right here. Okay? You have to get negative 15. So let's try and work through that. Well, what you would want to know is that you're supposed to be adding up a negative number here. That means that maybe we should make this negative 9 and negative 2 since they have to multiply out to 18. Because if we use 9 and 2, you'll never get a negative number added together. But if we use negative 9 and negative 2, you can multiply to get that 18, but you can also add to get a negative number, which is crucial for that middle term. So that means let's put negative 9 here, because if we put negative 9 over here, we would get 9 times 3, which is negative 27. That's way too big. So let's put our negative 9 here, and then we're going to put our negative 2 here. And that should be right, because let's look at it like how I explained it in the last section. If we do 3k times negative 2, that's negative 6k. Negative 9 times k is minus 9k, and you get negative 15k, which is your middle term, and thus you did this correctly. All right, so that is your guess and check method. I hope that you guys try this out. It is very helpful once you get the hang of it. And honestly, when I learned this method, I was like, why did I not learn this earlier? At first, it was a little bit of a struggle, but once you practice, it gets so much easier. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.